Hi, I'm John. Welcome back. We've done a lot of videos about survival kits and get home bags and things like that. And everyone has these big giant bags. Even this is one that we did a video on. Well, but this really isn't practical for a lot of people. It takes up a lot of space. And one mistake is the bigger the bag, the more you put in it, the more it weighs. So we came up with another idea and we got one of these. Look how much, look at the difference here. That seems to be more practical, keeping a car or truck or something like that. And so we bought one of these pre-assembled kits off of Amazon. It's $50. That's kind of that's kind of like our base for a lot of stuff, because you get much under that and you get a lot of stuff that's is garbage, not useful. But $50 is pretty affordable for most people. So we're gonna go through this today and we're gonna do yays, nays, add-ons. I went through it before the video to see what was in it, and it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. It's kind of like a mix of things, so we're gonna see what we can do to make some sense out of it. So we'll get into it right now. So this bag is a sling bag. So it has, you can wear it in the front, the back, the side. I would say put it in the front, and the pocket back here is open and it's easily accessible. There's other pockets in it too, but that way you can reach anything you need to do. And if you're in an urban environment, someone's not going to be able to grab your backpack and throw you down. So that's why I would do this for in the front, but you can wear it anyway. It's just a sling pack. It's small. You can carry it. It has a handle. You can attach it to your bigger pack, bicycle, your other kits that you have. But this is supposed to be a wilderness survival kit. So we're gonna go through it today. Nothing in these two front pockets. So you got a little bit of extra space there to add whatever you want that is close that you need to get to. So we're gonna go through. So it has, first, let's put this over here. Has a survival bracelet with a compass. It is pointing north. Got a little fire starter there, metal, so it could possibly work for that. I don't know how long that paracord that is. Cheap pack of glow sticks. It doesn't say what color they are, so who knows. Cotton balls, carabiners that screw on. It says not for climbing, so I don't know if it's how good a weight bearing it is. Another fire starter ferro rod, a compass. That one can be used for a map. Tack pen. Survival kit with a tack pen. This is a survival fork, a knife, can opener, and a whistle. The cool thing is it has a little sheath on it, so you're not going to cut yourself when you're eating, but you can also elongate that to reach down into your mountain house bags or whatever you use. This is paracord, but it's not really paracord. It's more like twine. It only looks like there's about 10 feet there. I would replace that. I wouldn't even use that. Some sort of twine necklace thing. Fishing line, fishing gear, but it's for not fish we have around here, so you'd have to switch out to some regional where you're at. It's like it's for crappie or bass, which we don't have a lot of that stuff. And this is a saw, a wire saw of some sort. Does not look to be very high quality. We'll test it in another video, but man, this thing is all wound up. 2 or 3 very thin wires that are braided together. Does not look very good. I'd probably replace that with something else. Survival hatchet. It has a shovel. Another fire starter and a compass that looks like it's the end of the hatchet. This is a knife, goes somewhere. Screws into one of these things. So we put the hatchet together. And then this, actually you could do, what I would do, I'd shove a lot of this stuff down in this handle, and then you have like a Rambo hatchet. And seems like it's got a lot of weight to it. It's got a hammer on the back. So this would be really useful in the woods for sure. It's not sharp, but it does have an edge. So you could, this would actually be useful if it actually held up. So you have that. And then instead it came with a shovel, which is more like a trowel. And then you got this shovel, which is kind of a trowel. It's got a pick. You can trench with it, but it does actually. It's got a can opener on it. It's supposed to be an attack shovel. This is just not very good. I mean, it'll dig a trench, it'll dig a fire pit. Take these out and see how they really do. It does have a compass on the end and does not work. I would think this goes into this handle here. Oh, look at that. So window breaker, there's the fire starter, skull crusher, or window breaker. There's actually a little bit of room in there. You could put some fishing twine or some matches or something in there. These are supposed to be your fire starters. They're not very good. I haven't even opened them up. Maybe there's wax or something on them that might be, feels like there might be wax on them, but what I would do is petroleum jelly and some cotton balls or something like that for your fire starters. Bandage. Let's see what we got. This is a lantern. And it does not come with batteries. I did check. It's 4 AA batteries. But it's pretty small. It's be useful. And it's compact. We have this is a pocket knife. Not sharp at all. It does have a clip though, so it'd be good. And a back clip there for your to put on your molly. So you could clip it like that on there. So you got quick access to your knife. Multi-purpose pocket survival tool. This stupid credit card things that everyone, they're useless. They're not really anything you're going to use it for. Maybe pull a nail out, or I know it has on them, but to be able to actually use it, it's not usable is my opinion. First aid kit. And it's cool because it comes in this little pouch, so you can move it to whatever if you want to use it in something else. It has your Q-tip. Let's move this up here. A little bit of gauze. A little bit of tape. Tourniquet wrap. Q-tips, quite a bit. There's 100 of them there. That's probably 100 out of the 200 pieces is probably right there. Knuckle bandages, which is always good. They never come with knuckle bandages. Prep pads. This is what I was talking about in the previous video when I said if they come with tweezers, they're plastic pieces of junk. That probably wouldn't even cut your Band-Aid or your tape. That's not even kindergarten scissors. Those are like lots of safety pins. And then you got a couple of 2x2s, so nothing big. I would use this pouch and add a little bit of different stuff to it. You don't need that many Q-tips for one. That takes up a lot of space in that pouch. Oh, I got to put these two back in. I thought it closed up too. I mean, I don't even know if this would cut your fishing line. These are really, really flimsy. Not made for longevity. It's made for survival. So a lot of this stuff is one-time use. So the quality of the stuff in some of these survival kits is really made just to keep you alive until help gets there. So we got that first aid kit, which is not terrible, but not good. This is your table of contents. Medical cards, there's 3 of them. I have kind of mixed feelings on some of these, but basically you fill out your personal information, your medical your contact, any allergies, medication you're supposed to be taking, any medical problems you have, and you leave them in there. But most people aren't. If someone finds you when you're in distress, most people aren't even going to read those or find those. And then this is the rest of it. So now that's empty. An emergency shelter, just an emergency tent. I don't know the quality of this one, but they're all just Mylar. So that's good. Here's your vinyl gloves that they're not even in a plastic bag. I would definitely put these in a baggie of some sort to keep them clean, so you know they're not sterile. A one-time use poncho. It looks like it came from a dollar store maybe. If you've ever used any of these ponchos, you know that you're lucky to get one of these use out of them. Like if you've ever had to change the tire in Washington State in the middle of a rainstorm, yeah, they help a little bit, but they rip easily. They're not, you may not even get a full use out of them. So I wouldn't consider this quality, but it's there. And then it has this, which is kind of cool. It's a water container. It looks like it's about a half gallon to a gallon. Most of these kind of kits don't have these. So that's cool. And it's definitely folds up and fits in there. So that's good. Now that we went through everything, let's see what's good and what's kind of garbage. This is kind of garbage. We're going to start a garbage file. That, I would replace the paracord. I would replace that, replace the paracord. This is kind of we don't know. That's just string. I have no idea what that's for. I assume this is going to be garbage. I don't think you'll get through a tree limb, but we'll test that in another video. These are always good, even if they only last a few hours. Those would keep. These are always good to have. I would revamp the fishing stuff for where you're at. The kind of bait that's in your area. I'm not going to catch anything on this here. We have a bunch of trout mostly. If you're in the mountains, it's all trout. These fire starters I would replace. Cotton balls are for cleaning and things, but it's just a lot of cotton balls for this kit. So I would take some of them, put some petroleum jelly, mix them up, put it in a container to use them for your fire starters. It's a spoon, can't be bad. Tack pen in a wilderness survival kit. Really, there's no use for it, but it's a cool pen. I mean, it's solid. Window breaker, bracelet. I don't wear them, but I'm sure they'll do you some good. Fire starter, it's always good. Oh, there's a whistle. Ferrule rod and whistle, so that's good. Little flashlight, and that's pretty cool too. No batteries, but it comes with a clip. So here's your hatchet, and I actually am kind of impressed. I would sharpen this really good, and I would redo the sheath, but not bad for what it is. You have this bottom level, your compass. You have a window breaker or some sort of crusher there with the pointed. Take that off. Fire starter. And then where we were trying to figure out where that knife went, good thing we read the instructions. And it's screwed into this part, so you actually have a workable knife. It's got a saw. You could actually put a stick in there somehow, screw it in if you needed some sort of longer spear or something. And so that goes there, and then there's nothing left on the hatchet, so this is just an empty section. So this is where I would stuff everything that you want to put in there, like maybe cotton balls or fishing stuff, or kind of like the old Rambo knife from the 80s from the movie. But yeah, this one isn't too bad. It's got a hammer on the back and a hatchet, so this would be a good invaluable tool either in the woods or in the city, but it is pretty heavy. It is a heavy thing. And then with this type of handles, it's going to eat your hands up. So like I said, I would do a different sheath, something you could pull up and out, maybe like the ones that it slides down through and it's got a snap over the top. Let's make something like that, so when you put it on your waist or wherever you put it, you can, but I guess this is made to pull down and out, so that's a good one. I'd keep that. Shovel is yet to be determined. It is small, so that's good. It'll dig a fire pit. It's got that, but it just doesn't seem very sturdy. And you're not digging anything bigger than a couple, like maybe a little fire pit or a trench around your tent or something. So I'd say that's probably not very good. So we ran over these. I would change those out, at least put them in a baggie. And then this goes with your first aid kit. This knife, I could take it or leave it, just sharpen it up. It's pretty lightweight. It's got a clip. It is a lock blade. Even a dull knife is better than no knife. And then obviously I would keep this. There is some, if there's a compress, this goes around your neck. There is something that they forgot to put in this kit, that there's two things. That is pretty obvious to me, but fire starters, the ferro rods, those should be your backup to starting fires. So I would add lighter, matches, some sort. And then they gave you a jug for water, but there's no way to purify it. There's not even a pot to boil water in. So it's a good start. It's got some quality issues, but I mean, the axe kind of redeems a lot of it in this bag. But we're going to go over, and so there's two, like I said, there was two things two ways you can go. You can go more urban kit or go more your wilderness survival. But we're going to go over what we would add to kind of finish that out to those kits. So, well, let me show you what I would add. Okay, so if we're going to go more to the wilderness kit, I would definitely just keep the shovel in there just in case, the axe, first aid kit, your glow sticks, your tent, your lighting. I would add a proper knife, just a standard fixed blade. I got it at Tractor Supply for like 15, 20 bucks. I don't remember, it's cheap. But it has a window, hard end to break windows or smash stuff. It's got a cord cutter built into the sheath, so it's pretty good and it's lightweight. You can clip it onto your bag or your belt. That's what I would add to it for that. I would add proper paracord. You don't have to go with 100 feet like this, but maybe 25 or 30 feet of it. Look at the difference from what proper paracord is in thickness versus what came in that kit. This is more like twine for holding up a tent. This will actually hold some weight, and you can do a lot more stuff. This has I believe that red in there is a sewing, like so you can sew something up, a thread in there so you can sew. But this is actual proper paracord. I would add some of this. This is a Mylar sleeping bag, very lightweight, very compact, and I always just throw them in every kit anyways. I'd add a proper poncho. This is still a kind of a disposable poncho. It's made out of Mylar, but this will also help keep the heat in if you're a little cold. And you can fold it up and put it back in there and use it again later on your trek home or whatever else you need to do, your wilderness for your survival. That's the cool thing about these, is they're both disposable and reusable at the same time. So I would add those to your wilderness kit. You have a knife. You need a knife sharpener because if you're using a knife, they dull pretty quick, even if they've got a good edge. So every kit needs to have some sort of knife sharpener. Bare minimum, a lighter. Add a couple differently, maybe some wax matches or something. But bare minimum, put a lighter in there, and maybe with your lighter, you take your fishing gear and you take some duct tape and you put your hooks and your line and everything on there, and then you wrap it around your lighter. It's there with your lighter, but yet you don't have to take up another space for your fishing kit. Some way to purify your water. Since they don't include it, you're gonna have to add it. This is a life straw. These are tablets. You choose what you like. This will fit around your neck. It goes with you everywhere. So purification. And then if you've got a phone, you're gonna want some sort of way to charge it, or radio or something like that. This is the one that we use. They're fairly cheap. They are 20,000 milliamp hours. So it's a lot of power for just this little thing. And you can leave it out in the sun and it'll take a few days to charge, but it'll charge. That's what I would add. Let's see if it all fits. So all that stuff will fit. Still got a little bit of room for other stuff. I would add some snacks to it. You also have this pocket in the back. If you wear it crossbody like this pocket here, there's still a pocket. You can put your friend in there. You have to use the opposite that you draw with. So if you're right-handed, you get a left-handed holster, and you can clip that because it's a cross draw. Otherwise, you'll be drawing it backwards. You put that in like that, and it's close to your body, like this. You can reach in and grab it if you need it, but it's completely concealed and everything. So that's what I would do. That's your wilderness. Now there's a few things I would add differently or take out for my urban setting. You're gonna do this for urban, I take that shovel out, you're not gonna need it. You may or may not need the hatchet, that's a personal decision. I just think it's got a lot of cool stuff and can be very helpful in certain situations. There's a few things I would add. Like I said, you got your friend. I'm gonna put that back here. So all that stuff I would keep for my urban setting. I might take out like the sleeping bag or something, but you're gonna want, or I take out the lantern, but you'd want a flashlight, you'd want water, something to carry water, and you're gonna want water filtration. But in an urban setting, I would put one of this in every one of your kits. This is called a Silcock key. This will allow you to get water from an industrial commercial building from city water, so you don't have to filter it, but it'll allow you to turn it on. And even if there's no power, if there's pressurized lines, you'll still get some clean water. Just make sure if you use one of these, make sure you shut the water off. You don't want to be flooding out your city. But I would put that in here, and I'd keep it right here in the front, right in that front pouch there. That's the main thing I would add. I put radios in all my kits. I have them in my car, so I would just grab it. I would molly it to the back here, or the side, or the front, or wherever. And that's what I would do for the kit in the city. But this stuff right here is either garbage or doesn't need to be in the kit, or needs to be replaced, that we had already replaced there. Anyways, for $50, I don't think it's a bad investment. I don't think it's a great investment, but this, you like the crossbody, you want the sling, this is actually a pretty good pouch. The thing I like about the smaller containers, one mistake that everyone makes when they're putting their kits together is we get our containers first. We get our backpacks or whatever we're putting our stuff in, we get that first. And we always tend to go too big, and because we have this empty space, we fill it, which adds weight and adds unnecessary stuff. This is if an emergency kit, and if you're on the go, you want to be nimble, you want to be able to move fast, and you want to be able to have the endurance that you need. The only other thing I would add that's not part of this kit is maybe a survival hiking stick. They could break down like that hatchet, and it'll fit in here, and you can use that to help with walking, and it'll also help protect you. Or some sort of trekking poles. They have them now that fold down to 8 or 9 inches, but I don't have those here for this. So but that's the only thing I would add that I don't have here. Anyways, I thought it was pretty cool to go through this. There's a lot of good stuff in it. There's a lot of not so good stuff in it. If you found value in the video, like and subscribe to our videos. If you want to see a really cool one on an EMT kit that we did that's just like this, but it's for a first aid kit, not an EMT kit, but it's a first aid kit. If you want to see one on first aid, we did a video last week. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.